he said, man, come all over Botswana. But also coming to Botswana was some sort of excuse because I also went there to visit my crush and stuff. That was crazy.
I knew that there was something like this. A girl, guys.
There had to be a supreme power or something.
Where did you meet your crush?
Also in the States.
Oh, my God, man. This guy o homem tá com tudo.
Like, in my daily basis, I mostly speak English because of my networks.
Wow. Olá pessoal, sejam mais uma vez bem-vindos ao canal ANGOPOLGYLOT. Aqui é Bernardo Silvino e Keinado Kanza, o vosso boy. Pessoal, hoje eu trouxe o Mr. President. Vocês pediram e eu o trouxe aqui. Esse cara que tem nos dado aí muitas dicas sobre inglês americano e tudo mais. Mas tá bom, todos já sabem que ele é professor, é o CEO da English Plus. Mas que tal a gente saber um pouco mais da história do Manuel? Como tudo começou? Por isso é que eu trouxe-o aqui, espero que você esteja ali. Mas antes de continuar aqui a nossa conversa, não esqueça, subscreva o canal, ative o sininho e comente bastante, porque isso vai ajudar a fazer com que outras pessoas que gostam desse tipo de conteúdo tenham acesso ao conteúdo. Manuel, it's a pleasure to have you, bro.
It's a pleasure.
Okay.
Yeah, thanks for having me, man.
Man, I thank you so much, you know.
It's been a while. We planned this for quite a long time.
Yeah. And I'm eager to know more about you and things you have been doing, because I've been watching your videos and I think that you are doing an amazing work, guy. You're making amazing work.
Thank you.
So, first of all, I want you to introduce yourself to our audience. Tell us about your background. It's important. This is the first step.
Telling about my background, it's a bit nerve-wracking, but
don't forget to tell us where are you from, where were you born, and so on.
Things like this. Well, my name is Manuel Tomás. I got a background in finance. I am a senior student of accounting and finance at Academia BAI, ESAF.
Yeah.
But I'm also the president of the student body council. That's what he comes, Mr. President.
Yes, good.
I'm also a financial auditor, but at the same time, I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a full-time entrepreneur. So I have here this double-sided life that I'm still kind of getting used to it with a lot of enthusiasm.
Yeah.
I grew up in Sambizanga, by the way.
Sambizanga.
Yeah, I'm from Sambizanga.
Wow.
Yeah. And as far as you know, it's a very underserved community in terms of needs. But I think it might have been one of the most important things. I think it might have been a pivotal things for me to turn out to speak English.
Okay.
Because like my parents always wanted to keep me away from the thug life.
Yes, sir.
So that I don't, they wanted to keep me on track. I don't go to, delinquency and stuff. So they always provided me with education while all my friends were around, outside on the streets. They wanted to keep me out of the streets. And that was basically, and funny enough, 12 years ago, this is how I started learning English. So
Talk about it. That would be the second question, but go on.
Yeah, because like my sister bought me a book, and it's a very renowned book. It is Inglês 3 meses. She bought me the book, and this is how I started out on this track. And she was just a book, and at the beginning I was kind of lying myself, that I am learning and stuff, but I deep down I was just kind of memorizing words.
Okay.
But it was so important step because I had a solid background. It was the foundation for me to have all this solid background in terms of words, vocabularies, because some of the words I just know, I don't know how I manage them. I unconsciously manage them.
Okay.
And funny enough, 12 years later, imagine a kid wholly invested in learning English when he was young. I've been always a book person. I've been always reading in the crib. But 12 years later, the same young kid turned out to be a global student leader by the U.S. Department of State.
Tell me something before. Did you go to a school or you
never.
were all alone?
Self-taught.
Self-taught.
Completely
Man,
self-taught.
when did you decide? When did you realize that you needed to work on your pronunciation, vocabulary, and how did you do that?
I think I never did it before. I never kind of intentionally set myself. I never forced it.
Okay.
From the get-go, I've been always fond of American culture, American seasons, TV shows, comedy shows, and stuff. So I wanted to be like them, you know. I've always watched the cartoons, Disney cartoons, and most of them, like some of the movies, wasn't translated. And I felt like, man, I want to speak like them, you know. So I had a little bit of hard time when it comes to understanding them, right? Because I started on this track like a very long ago, but at a certain point, I realized that I was just rubbing it off. Like I was naturally speaking like them. Like,
wow.
Yeah,
it's like a miracle.
I think it is just the process of continuous watching the same kind of content or the same kind of culture, and then you start talking like them. Yeah.
Do you really think that it's very important and it helped you during your process?
Definitely.
Watching, definitely.
Definitely, because after that, another pivotal thing I would say was getting in touch with native English speakers.
Okay.
Yeah, when I don't have an American accent because I decided to have it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not something I plan to. I want to speak like this, but I think it was the environment I was placed in, or I put myself in the first instance, and that's how things ended up going.
Okay.
Yeah, I never kind of decided to speak like this.
And when you decided to, I know that you are CEO and founder of English Plus. We have been learning a lot with your content. So when did you decide to create English Plus and why?
That's quite a thing. That's a funny story. Actually, I started English Plus because my peers in school, they were always, asking for English lesson because I've been always, I kind of set a name for myself in my school because of my English pronunciation and stuff. And everybody was saying,
it is amazing. I love it.
We have a guy, there's a guy, there's the American guy. They called me an American guy in the beginning.
Yeah.
We want to study with them. We want to study. He's pretty good. Try to check on him. And it was a whole lot of demand. And funny enough, I never enjoyed teaching. Like,
never.
I never. Like,
really, guys?
I never. Like,
it doesn't seem when I watch your videos.
I never, because like, I hated the process of having to tell someone else what it is, you know.
Yeah.
And sometimes, especially when it doesn't wrap around their mind, and I never liked it. But it was a whole lot of demand, man.
Yeah.
People were saying, man, you should teach. And by the time, I think I wanted to take my drive license by the time.
Yeah.
And I said, okay, it was in my vacation, let's do it. That's how I kick-started, with no intention of keeping it ahead.
Yeah.
Of, carrying it over or carrying it around my life, And, they said, okay, let's start. I started this just in my university. And I knew I had a name. It was in my sophomore year.
Okay.
Yeah, I had a name. I was like, oh, okay. What name I could come up with? Oh, okay, English Plus. I found a name. Just came the name. And then we started the process. But I felt like everything was falling back to place when I started teaching people English. Like, the way they were allowed to understand very nerve-wracking things and complicated and complex subject in English. It was very important for me. Like, I was able to get them through some kind of new word. Like it was literally magic, I felt. And they say, Mel, you should keep this. You should keep this. And by the time, what actually drew me in was the fact that people really ended up having results.
Okay.
You know, people really ended up speaking. People really ended up getting the accent.
Wow. You are getting your results.
Exactly. I was like,
Okay.
man, maybe it's something that I would like to do for, quite a long time from now on. And I kept going on, and I decided to formalize it. I say, okay, let's make it something more formal.
Yeah.
And that's how I started. And by the moment I realized that, okay, more people are getting impacted. That was my momentum, by the way.
I know that you are expanding in Angola, Mozambique, and now Europe.
Yeah.
How did it come, and what challenge did you face during this process of expanding your company?
Mm-hmm.
And how did you overcome these challenges, by the way?
Yeah, I branched it out in Mozambique. I branched out to Mozambique in last year. My partnership, by the way, Mr. Albino from Sambizanga, from Nampula.
Nampula, yeah.
Nampula, Mozambique.
Yeah.
We kind of partner up to make it to there because we made the same program. We were in the States doing the same exchange program.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and he called me once and said, "Man, people here from Moz know you better than I do." I was talking to a friend that told me, "Oh, I know this guy from
social media,
yeah. From TikTok," and I was like, "No, this is my friend. Where is he from?" He's from Angola, and he told me about the idea to branch it out to Mozambique. I said, "Man, it's perfect. I think I have a solid audience right there, down there."
Wow.
And yeah, it worked perfectly. We started. It's not. I think it hasn't taken off as it is supposed to, but it's been a nice ride. It's having a little fun.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
and
great.
now the Europe was some sort of they kind of picked me because like some students from Portugal, Netherlands, France, and stuff, they got in touch with me saying that we want to have classes with you, private lessons with you. And I was like, okay, let's start. And it was a very natural process.
Okay.
Like, I never, like my English, I never force anything.
Things happen naturally.
Yeah, and they wanted to, they say, yeah, let's have it. I say, okay. And I have lessons with them. And then as a word of the mouth, they spread the message around their community. Oh, we have a great teacher in Angola, from Angola.
Yes.
And you know that just because the fact that we come from Africa, somehow it would be a setback. But when you actually burst into your talent and when you purposely do what you're up to do, there's no sort of setbacks like this. There's no racial difference. There's no country distance.
Yes, sir.
So they said, we want you here. And so somebody was talking to another person, and when I realized I had over 15 or 20 students.
Wow.
From Europe. Yeah.
My God.
I was like, okay, obviously not only with me. I was like, okay, we have to take it seriously.
Yeah.
We have to see what they want from me first and try to replicate it along different countries. And this how we ended up. This how we are branching the company to Europe as well.
Wow, that's quite amazing, bro.
Yeah,
that's
it's
inspiring.
Yeah, it's been always like this.
Yes. Yeah. Accountant and English. What came first?
I don't know, man. Both are things I'm pretty passionate about.
Okay.
And especially accountant nowadays, because I started undertaking accounting role at a company, and getting the ins and out of the industry.
Yeah.
And yes, so it's a very double-sided thing, and my business also, I can just rule it out, because it was born out of a very critical problem. Like, it was born, if you realize, in Angolan marketplace, the Angolan marketplace, as it is, as we don't have a diversified economy, it is mostly designed by the high investment sectors, like the oil and gas sectors, the mining sectors, and all this stuff. And if you realize, most of these sectors or industries, they require international standards.
Yes, sir.
Right?
Yes, sir.
But at the same time, they require English language proficiency.
Yes, sir.
And how the foreign manpower invades the country, it is insane. Imagine, there's a lot of foreign people working, taking the top jobs because we don't master it. Because what we learned in school, we had to be taught in English. And that's why that's it. It is actually my purpose in English Plus. This is the gap we're bridging across the country. It is to actually provide a very tailored and specific approach to different wantings.
Okay.
Imagine, for example, some people, they don't want actually to dive into English language grammar. They want a very precise thing.
Yes, communication. Yes.
They just want to be able to understand people in their business, or to talk to foreign clients in their company.
Yes.
They want very specific things. And this is what we're looking at, providing solutions to people who have different needs. Yeah, that's basically what. So I've always had this multitask life.
You have been training accountant. I've been watching some online meetings that you have been part of with accountants, talking about English and accountant. Do you think that we have many problems regarding English among accountants?
We have English problem.
Yes.
In the professional sector.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm telling this. It's a very serious thing. Like, imagine, for example, an accountant. Say, for example, you are a very good accountant.
Yeah.
You master the financial statements. Pricing modeling. Everything about accounting. But say I have a multinational company, and obviously I have international standards, and most of the stakeholders, or let's say most of the shareholders, they are foreign shareholders. They're not from the country.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and obviously the predominant language is English. Okay, I have my business. I don't speak Portuguese. I started my business. I ventured into Angola, and I want my business to succeed. And you are a very renowned accountant in Angola, but you don't speak English. And let me explain you that accounting is a very fragile sector. Like, you can. Sometimes there's no space for a third person, for a third wheel.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get it.
If you're the accountant, you're supposed to know the deepest thing out of my business. So, if I had a need to hire a translator because you don't speak English, so I rather have the translator as my accountant. You know what I'm saying?
Than having you.
Exactly. Than having you.
Yes.
So that's why it is a problem, because, and it's not only about all the skills that you manage in Portuguese, but now you have to turn it into English, and being able to get your point across, being able to really make you clear, concise, and make the numbers speak. This is one of the most important abilities that an accountant must master. Okay, the numbers are there,
Yeah.
but you have to explain. You have to make people really into. People have to dive into the numbers, even if they don't know the accounting concept. If they know the closing entries, if they know how works a ledger, but have to be able to make the numbers speak.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Good. Big challenge.
Yeah, this is a big challenge.
Yeah. So talking
and it's quite a few the amount of people, accountants, who speak English in Angola.
And you are the work that you are doing with the English Plus is in order to help this accountant to speak English.
Yes, we have a whole lot of training. We have a specific training for this, just for accountants.
Pay attention, accountant. So I know that you English Plus, you have partnership with major companies in Angola like Nestle and some law firms. How did you build this strong partnership with this corporation guy? How did you do that?
It is just explained. That's the reason why I'm not a charity person, or I'm always on the Facebook, as all of my audience has, been kind of claiming about, oh, you don't reply my message, I texted you today. Because I'm always on a go. I'm always on a go. I'm always on a go, and most of these companies, they decided to get in a partnership with me, not with my business, but with me, actually.
Wow, that's amazing, bro. That's inspiring, man.
Yeah, it is one thing that I want to tell to anyone who started the business, or anyone who's venturing into anything. It comes with a lot of advantages and also setbacks when you're the face of your business. But somehow in Angola, it is very important. I'm not here because of ANGOPOLGYLOT. I'm here for you.
Yeah, that's the point.
You get him one say?
I got you, bro.
So along the time, I understand that business is more about people than it is about money.
Sure, for sure.
Business, it is about relationship.
Let me tell you that I realized that regarding ANGOPOLGYLOT, what you're saying last year. In last days, I've been posting more on my profile than in ANGOPOLGYLOT profile, because I realized that most of people will come because of me. They are.
And then after getting to know you, there's something backwards. It is your business. Oh, it is this and this and that. Oh, you also have all the teachers. Oh, I didn't know you have such a great teachers in English Plus. You see, that's how people. But first of all, they start with me. They got in touch with me. We want this. We want that. And that's how I also have the squeaky clean. I actually take care of my image.
Yeah, it's very important.
Very important.
Yeah, because I think that you have been posting some kind of videos, and I've been reading some girls' comments. You care about your image.
It is important, because you can, it doesn't, no matter how public it is, the social media, and you have to be careful. You have to be cautious what you post, what you say. I think having this sort of charge, or it should be taken as a social responsibility. At the end of the day, my company, I won't buy your service if you always talking loose on the internet. Wow. So it is so important to set a very responsible profile. You don't have to force it. Just be yourself, and be careful with what you post, what you say on the internet.
Wow, that's great. Amazing. So now let's talk about your international participation. I know that you were recognized by the U.S. Department of State as a global student, global leader student. Is that?
Yeah, it's that.
And you have been at the University of Washington.
Yes.
You have been part of SUSI program. Yeah, you have to talk about it, because I know that there are many people out there who want to go to the United States of America. Maybe if they understand how SUSI works, they can understand, okay, I have to do that and to make that in order to be part of it. Start from the beginning. How did it happen?
Well, that's okay. You know something? Whenever I talk about SUSI, I kind of a trail off. Like I get into emotions. Like
Okay.
yeah, 'cause
SUSI is the right
SUSI
pronunciation.
program, yeah,
SUSI.
SUSI. Yeah.
Okay.
Because normally in English, most of the times we don't have the Z. Like the
Yeah.
S doesn't turn into Z as in
Okay.
Portuguese.
Okay.
But like they call it SUSI. You know, the whole program design by itself, it was right up my alley. Like it is a leadership program,
Yeah.
which is something that I believe I've been kind of groomed for in the past years, throughout the student body council, throughout my businesses, because a part of English Plus, I also ventured in some other things.
Yeah, JBC and so on.
And so on. No, you did such a great research.
Yes, I did my homework.
Yeah, yeah. The program is about leadership, and they kind of bunched up the most brilliant African students in the States.
Yes.
In order to mentor them into how to build a civic project, how to start an impactful thing out of your community.
Yes.
And it was very brilliant. Like, let alone it was in my dream country in the United States.
Wow.
Like the same kid who was always
Yeah.
on the TV watching American movies and stuff.
Yeah, in Sambizanga.
And
From
Sambizanga.
Yeah.
He's now in the States, in the 7th top university in the world.
Yes.
And
Washington is an amazing
Washington,
city.
my
man.
go-to city, Seattle, Washington.
Everyone who speaks English, who watch movies, wants to go to Washington.
Yeah, to Washington, and the tag city. So SUSI at the end of the day was I think the greatest asset I took from SUSI was actually the people I bumped into.
Wow.
I bumped into people that it was the most valuable thing I could take out of the SUSI. What I got the best out of the program is actually people, the relationships I did with people, and the places I went to. I learned a lot of stuff, not only in terms of civic engagement, but
Yeah.
also in terms of, I think it made me a man. It made me a better man. It made me a better student.
Wow.
One of the most impressive things I could spot in the University of Washington is that the way they study.
Yeah.
It felt so uncomfortable for me.
Wow.
Yeah, like imagine, for example, here in Angola, when we study, when we go to school, they kind of fill us up with a lot of information, and at the end of semester, we have to throw it up.
Yeah.
At
It's
the
hard
exam.
work. Hard work.
But in the States, it is the opposite. Like, they get you the book, they get you the lesson, they hand you the lesson, but we're bound to start tomorrow.
Yeah.
And tomorrow you have to come. And the teacher goes literally silent.
Wow.
As student, you have to perform the lesson.
Wow. Wow.
You see, like, it was in the beginning, it took me out of my comfort zone, because I always had to be there explaining. Here in Angola, I go to lesson just to take.
I think it's more evolving.
Yes. And I was there. I also had to. And when I explained to people this, all this problem I had, even from African students, they were like, "Oh yeah, I'm used to it. That's how we study in Botswana.
My God.
That's how we study in South Africa." So I also realized, even here in Africa, we are kind of left behind.
My God.
In certain, in very specific things.
Yeah.
We're not the best. We think we're the best out of the
But
continent.
we're not.
We are definitely not.
We need to work more.
We think we are the smartest.
Yeah.
We think we are the most handsome man. We think we are not.
Yeah.
We are not. Believe me,
Yeah.
we are not.
Oh my God.
Yeah, we are not. And this whole SUSI experience set me to. It was definitely my momentum, because like after my post SUSI life, everything kind of worked out.
Wow.
Everything was working out. My project, people wanted to get around me. More the partnerships.
Yeah.
That's where the partnerships are coming from. The business that wanted to be with me, like,
Yeah.
and the way I also set my marketing, the silent way I set my marketing, it's not something that it's not something that I don't go for controversies or stuff. It's a very silent thing, and people get to know. I know exactly the persons. I know my niche. I know the target and the companies I'm niching down to. Yeah.
Wow.
So SUSI was just a brilliant thing. It is about leadership, and I strongly recommend any other young man to.
What can they do in order to make part
Of the SUSI program?
of the SUSI program?
First of all, they identify the U.S. Embassy all the time. They're trying to pin down possible leaders around communities, academic communities, underserved communities. So if you have a project in your community, a civic engagement project, if you have some sort of impactful initiatives, you can definitely apply for SUSI. It makes you totally eligible for SUSI. Yeah, and if you have this kind of things, if you have the finger for leadership, even if it is a small thing, just get started as soon as possible. Try to expand it, and one of the most important things at SUSI is also the personal statement.
Personal statement.
Like,
what is this?
Personal statement is basically a letter where you explain who you are, what you've been doing across the country along the years. And you have to be very concise. You have to be very articulated in order to express your things, in order to express yourself. It must be very, very, like in a nutshell, it must be very short, explaining who you are, and very precise as well. That's basically out of it. And it is SUSI comes on every August month, I think, something like this, at the end of the year. So at the end of the year, people are packing up to go to the United States, like in January or in February.
Wow, amazing. Memories from the United States of America, the city itself.
Man, the city itself, that was creepy as hell. In my mind, I had the best experience.
Can you share some of these experiences?
I can definitely share. One of the memorable ones I got with me is definitely that my host dad, he also brought me to visit. He dipped me out to visit Canada. We also went to Canada.
Wow, amazing.
Yeah, we went to Canada, and which was a country, because the first thing I said when I was there is that, I want to see the snow. I come from Africa. I gotta see the snow.
I think I saw a photo of you.
It was in Canada.
It was in Canada. Wow.
Yeah, and it was very.
Your host dad is like was like your sugar dad.
Kind of sugar daddy. And he's a very smart man. Okay, let me fix this.
Yeah, fix it.
Yeah, he is a very smart guy.
Wow.
We bump the same stuff. He's into books. So am I.
You're also into books. Wow.
We get along so well.
Wow.
So far we have a very solid relationship. We text all the time. He's very caring. He really treated me as a child.
Wow, amazing. I think this memory is gonna be forever.
And my friends. And my peers, because we have a very familiar and engaging program.
How many countries were there?
Exactly.
Besides Angola,
exactly 4 countries.
4 countries.
Mozambique. Shout out to Mozambique, guys. Viagem, my guy.
Mozambique.
Mozambique. And Botswana, Mozambique, Botswana, South Africa, Zimbabwe, and Angola.
Wow, amazing experience. So, what key lessons or experience from the University of Washington did you apply in your initiatives here as president of the council bar of student, at English Plus. What initiatives did you apply to your projects?
JBC.
Wow.
JBC Junior Business Consulting.
It's from this experience.
Exactly.
Wow.
Yeah. It kind of crossed my mind when I was in the States, in the sense of we don't have. It is the first junior business consulting in Angola.
Yes.
In a sense of mentoring or taking the best out of student experience, academic experience, to put into work and provide small consulting services to medium, small entrepreneur, small business owners, and we started this with a little bit of partnership here and there. So from my end, I wanted to solve two problems. When I got back from the States, we had an academic inflation of 30.16%, I think, because the university tuition fees had surged as hell. So what can I do to make sure that my academic community, one of the largest business school in Angola, Academia BAI, what can I do to minimize the impact of the surge of the tuition fee surge? I decided to start the program, a journey in business consulting, where students, they tackle two kind of problems. First, they don't have any experience. So if they start getting the ins and outs of the industry, applying what they learn in school, in a real world setting business, and then they get rewarded for it. They get money out of it, but this money must be wholly invested in academic spendings. So it is, at the end of the day, it is just to increase the buying power, the academic buying power. So it was one of the initiatives as well. I think a whole lot of other ones I kind of put into different parts of my activities. A little bit from this, a little bit from here.
Tell me something. Do you have a partnership with companies at JBC?
Yeah, we do.
They help you in order to give internship first to students.
One of them is PI Advisory.
Advisory.
PI is a multinational accounting consulting, and they had been giving internship for students. Like, it is a paid internship.
A paid internship. Wow.
One of the students that leveraged his experience in PI advisory was Armindo Vieira. A very brilliant guy. And we have been helping out a lot of students out there.
How is it to be the president of the Council Bar of Students at Academia BAI, ZAF?
It comes with a lot of pressure, man, let me tell you. There was a moment that I wanted to bid it. There was a moment I felt like bidding it. There was a moment I felt like, why am I doing this? What's my purpose out of it? But at the same time, I think the most it taught me was to be a very multitasking man. Like, I do several stuff at the same time.
You can deal with all.
And it's not because I wanted to do this, but
you have to.
I had to do it. Those are opportunity, and I'm a man of businessman. There are certain opportunities that I couldn't. I can't let it fall through. I can't let it fall through. I had to make it. For example, I started as English Plus, and it went viral in my university. And after this, my university, UNICEF, and the Ministry of Finance, they invited me to speak about the 2023 budget in my university.
My God.
For millions of students. The Ministry of Finance. I talked to...
My God, pessoal, man, esse cara é incrível, meu.
And after that, I kind of made a name for myself in my university. So as a brilliant student, not only in a sense of my grades, but also in terms of, really being able to solve problems, real life problems with what you learn in school. You know, because this is what learning is all about. At the end of the day, you have to put into practice. You have to put in the work. And yeah, after this, so students, they elected me as the president of the student body council.
Mr. President.
I was
They
indicated.
call you Mr. President.
Mr. President. Yeah, that's where the Mr. President name comes from.
Yeah.
And after this, it comes SUSI, for example.
Yes, sir. Man, your journey is amazing. keep talking, bro.
It comes SUSI after this. And then after SUSI, it comes a whole lot of other stuff together.
Yeah.
Things that I can't turn down. I can't simply turn down.
You can't, man.
I can't turn down. But so I've been always trying to see what God wanted me to dive right in. I feel like God wanted me to be a leader man. It was really a calling. I feel like God was kind of calling me to do this today, so as to get into something greater later on. Yeah. And okay, I have a crazy journey, and my mom is always, I wanted blowing up kisses for my mom. Blowing kisses for my mom. She's always like, oh, you are doing a lot of stuff, you should rest a bit. You're doing this and this, you don't have time to relax, wind out just a bit, you know. But I said, Mom, I gotta do this today.
Life is a challenge, man.
You know, and I have to tell this for every young man out there, like, we won't ever be this young again. Yeah. You know, never. We won't ever have this energy again.
Yes, we need to do it now.
We have to do it now. Yeah. Because if we don't pay the price today, we gotta pay this later on.
For sure. You see? And it will be too late.
And it will be too late.
No energy, no nothing.
Nothing. And I'll have kids, and I'll have family, all the responsibilities. You know, I won't have the same strength I have today to, you know, to volunteer and stuff. So it's been a nice track.
Wow. Yeah. Wow, amazing.
I'm so grateful for everything.
As the president, I know that you have been watching, you have many challenges that students face. What are the main challenges that students face, and how the council help them to overcome these challenges? Yeah,
one of the critical needs in the faculty was when the surge of tuition fees. Wow. Yeah, it was a bumpy season for me, because, you know, most of the university was throwing that upon me. Oh, you didn't do anything, it's tough, you didn't do anything for this and that. And I was like, oh my God,
I need to do something.
Yeah, gotta come up with something. Yeah. So thank God, I have such a great and healthy relationship with the faculty. I mean, my directors, Dr. Carla, she's a very lovely.
Dr. Carla.
She's a very lovely person. She's like a mother for me.
Wow.
And I honestly, we sit across the table, and I talk to him. I say, I'm in a very tight spot. I'm sitting on a fence right now. Yeah. What can you do? What can we do,
Help
please?
Me.
What can we do? Is there, because I also understand it is a business.
Yeah.
And it must.
And you are also a businessman. That's why you understand.
I understand that it must have a space for margins. Yeah. In terms of expenses and revenues. Yeah. So I said, what can we do? And we analyzed the whole table, the whole table of prices, and we had some adjustment. With this adjustment, like, we're covering exams, que nós chamamos
exames?
Nós chamamos de recurso.
Recurso, yeah.
And in order we actually narrowed down the prices, and the whole student body was, you know, they were pumped up again. Oh, he did something great and stuff. But the main needs in my community are, we have a great university institution or higher institution. Yeah. We don't have problems that as much as other university have. I mean, our problems are very distinguished. And somehow I used to say that we have very spoiled students, spoiled students. Sometimes they claim about things that has nothing to do.
Okay.
But the most, a very critical problem is also the exam correction, because, you know, some of them feel like, oh, I was,
It's always like
unjustified.
this. It's always like this.
Yeah, it shouldn't be my grade at the end of the semester.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are basically the
Wow.
the critical
Well,
thing.
and maybe the next questions are regarding I know that you are a Civic Chapter member in Botswana. How
Yeah.
come an Angolan be part of an organization like this in Botswana? How did it come, guy?
Civic Chapter comes with Maverick. I want to send a whole big shout out to my big fellow Maverick from Botswana.
Okay,
Yeah,
Botswana.
He's a very big. He's kind of the Mr. President from Botswana.
Okay.
Yeah, Maverick. Yeah, Maverick is he's very smart.
Very smart.
He's smart as fuck. He's a businessman. He has a business in Botswana. He has such a large life.
Wow.
Yeah, I really feel like a version of me in Botswana.
Wow.
Yeah, and he created the Civic Chapter, and he invited me to participate in. But
Where did you meet him?
we met in the States, in America.
Wow, the importance of
Of networking.
Yeah.
And he said, man, come all over Botswana. But also coming to Botswana was some sort of excuse, because I also went there to visit my crush and stuff. That was crazy.
I knew that there was something like this. A
Yeah.
girl, guys.
There had to be a supreme power or something.
Where did you meet your crush?
Also in the States.
Oh, my God, man. This
Also
guy,
understand.
o homem tá com tudo.
Like, in my daily basis, I mostly speak English because of my networks.
Wow.
Yeah, because of the people I get along with. And yeah, my crush, she lives up there.
Wow.
And
Botswana.
shout out to Botswana.
Shout out to Botswana.
I have
for
such
sure.
warm and lovely memories from Botswana. It's a very
You've been
brilliant
there?
country. Yeah, I've been there last year.
Wow.
Yeah,
To see the girl and to be part of the Civic Chapter.
to be part of the Civic Chapter.
Oh, this guy is
Shout out to-
a real Angolan.
Shout out to my women
So
watching
he
me
went to
right
the
now.
United States of America and he got a girl. This is a real Angolan spirit, you know.
Yeah, because I had to represent the country.
And you did it well, guy. You did it well, man. You did it well, man. You
Yeah.
nailed it.
Yeah,
Okay.
so shout out to my girl, by the way. She's watching me right now, certainly.
Yeah.
And I went to the country also to see this, to explore the country, because traveling pumps me out. Yeah, traveling pumps me out. It makes me feel alive. I love traveling.
Yeah.
I made a vow to myself of traveling on each 6 months. After 6 months, I have to.
Travel.
Yeah, I got to travel
It's good.
to somewhere or
Yeah.
African countries. I'm
You're planning.
Yeah. I'm planning to Dubai right now. Yeah, but yeah, this is I always want to be traveling. This is something
Man, I'm in
Yeah.
this situation
that
too.
I want to travel.
I feel like traveling again, you know.
And how I learned with my host dad.
You okay?
Something that he does that is amazing. He kind of set some money aside weekly. He taught me, if you want to travel, don't pay it out like straight away. Don't buy a ticket in cash.
Okay.
Do it in chunks.
In chunks, not in cash.
Not what I mean is that if, for example, set a little bit of money aside on each month,
Okay.
and when it comes to your holiday, make it to Dubai, make it to South Africa, even if it's not a lot of money, make it to Namibia,
Yeah.
make it to Zimbabwe, Mozambique, all
Just
this.
travel.
Just travel. It's very important because when you travel, you expand your
Your
consciousness.
perspective. of life. Yeah.
Expand. You get it. You get to know more people, and you realize there are other forms of living this life.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Amazing. Guy, tell me something. Do you think that English changed your life?
Definitely.
Wow.
Definitely. Yeah, definitely. English, because like the thing of English, it's not just, you know, the speaking up by itself. It's just not, it's not just about the grammar part per se, but what you can do about it.
Okay.
You know, what is this communication for? How are you impacting people? How do you communicate yourself? Because you might be doing something that a bunch of people are doing as well.
Yeah.
But how do you approach?
What is different?
Yeah. What is your difference?
Yeah.
Like, what makes you better? What makes people choose you? What makes people relate to your communication? You know, and English has totally changed my life.
Wow.
Totally, because like even all these people I got to know, like
It's because of English.
I always say this: if you have a problem and you want to get it solved, and if you have to do more than 3 calls, change your network.
Yeah. Change
your
it.
friends.
Change it.
If
Yeah.
you have a problem and
Yeah.
you have to call more than 3 people,
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
something is wrong.
Yeah, completely.
When I have, for example, man,
Yeah.
if I'm experienced, let's say, for example, I have a problem about this and that,
Yeah.
I know exactly who I must call.
Yeah.
I know
It's
exactly
important.
for this. Okay, I want water.
Let me call that guy.
Let me call this provider.
Yeah.
For example, I want a guy who has a YouTube channel, who
Yeah.
has an Angolan YouTube channel
Yeah.
with reels, subscribers,
Yeah.
you know, actively subscribers.
Yeah.
I know that I have to call you.
Okay.
I got to get in touch with you.
Yes, sir.
And this is the importance of English language in my life. It set me into a world
Where you could never be.
where I could never been, man.
If you
know.
couldn't speak the language, for sure.
If I couldn't, you know.
And gave you a girl. I believe that if you couldn't speak English, how could you?
Also, like,
Yeah, date her. How? That would be the question.
yeah, since she doesn't speak Portuguese, yeah.
Yeah. Are
It's
you
true.
teaching her Portuguese?
I mean, she's doing it by itself. Sometimes she calls me like puto. I'm like, where did you get this from? What the fuck did you get it from?
Puto.
It's
Guy,
crazy.
Tell me, how do you choose the videos that you share in
The
your
processing?
Facebook? The process, yeah, I like it.
Okay,
I've been learning many words, guys.
Okay.
Many expressions.
First of all, I have my team, Sebastião Henrique, shout out to my man. And we work along the videos and stuff. What happened is that I always, my message is to, as I told you before, the way we speak here in Angola
Yes, sir.
is totally different than
different.
it is in the States. Not
Yes.
only in the States, but in native English speaking countries.
Yeah.
It's totally something else.
In the moves, for example, I saw some moves that you shared.
That I
My
share,
God,
I
completely different.
I spend most of the time watching movies, so when I see, oh, it would be very interesting to bring that to
Yeah.
my channel
Yeah.
or to my audience. Oh,
Yeah.
does my audience manage this expression or something? Like, would they understand this
Yeah.
on a daily basis? So I always try to communicate or to, because at the end of the day, it's just a camera, it's just a mechanism on a stick. I always try to make sure I'm kind of speaking to them directly, you know.
And you speak right. I saw some videos, for example, from some movies that you shared. You speak with the speed. My God, this guy, he got it all.
Yeah, because of the timing span.
Yeah.
Because
Preparing.
actually, I have a shorter attention span, and I wouldn't like myself to click away out of my video. Like I try to imagine if it was me. I don't like very long videos.
Yeah.
So, but sometimes it doesn't click because I also have a whole lot of stuff to
To do.
to speak to my audience. So I try to shorten it and to make it as faster as I can, but sometimes I don't manage.
You don't manage that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I juggle with bringing videos from movies, from TV shows and stuff. But I also try to, sometimes I want to convey something out of my heart, something that, I think that's pretty necessary to address this, or even just to give some sort of a heads up about this and that, and conveying very naturally my message, expressions, idioms, phrasal verbs. That's basically what I try to put on a plate for my audience.
Wow, great. Advice, guys. What advice do you have for people struggling learning English?
English?
Yes.
First of all, just start as early as possible, if you can. Like, don't overthink of, am I doing it well? I don't know enough words. Should I really get started talking to people? No, I have to, to work a little way back into the vocabularies as well. Just get started. Just go ahead. Just, let the words roll out of your mouth. Try to be as natural as you can. Try to get in touch with native English speaker.
Wow.
There's an app that I strongly recommend to people. It is Hello Talk.
Hello Talk.
It is a social media just like Facebook, but tailored to practice English.
Hello
Talk.
Okay.
And what drew me in this app is actually that if you speak Portuguese and I speak English, there are a bunch of people in the United States looking to learn Portuguese.
Yes.
So it automatically suggests you as a friend request.
Wow. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And also in terms of English, there's some sort of tips that I could drop off here that are not taught in the classrooms, language schools. It is that you always have to be open to hear. If you want to be, my greatest tip if you want to be a great communicator fast, you got to be a great listener.
Yeah.
Because there is a science search that says, a science quest that says, right now, if you lose your ability to hear, at a drop of a hat, your speaking abilities will also deteriorate. That it's automatically.
Wow.
If your ears, that's why most of the times people who can't hear,
they
can actually speak.
Yeah, actually.
But hearing comes first.
Yes, sir.
You always try to hear, but instead of just hearing sounds, listen to it. Listen how they place in the words. Some of sentence construction or building phrases in English doesn't actually make any sense in Portuguese.
Yeah, for sure.
And you just have to take your best shot out to understand this. There's no sort of, a dictionary or something that you can Google. You just have to try to understand this how they speak.
Yeah.
And expose yourself to English content all the time. Every day. My English life, the word is in English.
Wow.
Yeah,
wow.
The word is in English. the internet is in English.
Is in English, yeah.
62% of the content in the internet there
and
in
the
English.
best content is in English.
In English, for example, let's say, for example, you are. I also realized, for example, let's say, for example, I want to study about, say, accounting, for example. There's everything you're trying to get into right now, something that you are trying to really delve right into, there is a very simplified approach in English.
Wow.
Because the English language, it's very precise. It's very effective. There's no a lot of beating around the bush.
Yeah.
There's no a lot of, meanings that are not actually what they mean. There's no such a thing as in Portuguese of that something that feels like it doesn't actually relate with the meaning. words are very, they actually express, the words are very expressing. It is a very expressing language. So there's no beating around the bush. In Portuguese, a book in Portuguese that is addressing the accounting problem, it's a whole lot of beating around the bush.
Yeah.
Like,
they go straight to the point.
English, they go straight to the point.
Okay.
Yeah, they cut straight to the point, and this is one of the tips. Also, get down your head into books. It's one of the tips I also can drop here to our audience in order to expand their English competencies.
Wow, thank you, pessoal. Manuel Tomás, bro. Wow, it's really good. Our conversation is really good. I don't know if you have something else to say. One last word to people before we end up this podcast.
Okay, maybe I would strongly recommend to people to follow me on internet.
Yes, sir. That's the point.
English Plus as well.
Yeah.
I'm Manuel Tomás, Mr. President on Instagram.
Yeah, Mr. President.
IG. I think I'm also on Twitter, on X. You can find me.
Yeah.
This is actually my purpose.
Yeah.
I try to vent what I think people should get to know about English language. So follow me for more content if you want to work on your pronunciation or even just to diversify your vocabulary.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Yeah.
Porque vocês viram, pá, vocabulário bem diferenciado. Okay.
Yeah, that's basically. Thank you so much, and I would enjoy to come back here.
It would be, man, ouviram, né? Eu convido de volta.
Yeah?
Sem problema.
Make sure
it will be a pleasure, bro.
Yeah, maybe come to talk about something very specific or a master class.
Yeah, because this one was just to let people know more about you. Next time we're gonna talk about something more specific. And thank you very much for your availability.
Thank you. It was such a pleasure to be here. Thanks for having me, man.
Bro. Pessoal, tamo juntos. Não esqueçam, subscrevam o canal, ativem o sininho para mais conteúdos como este. Tamo juntos. Bye.
I hope the sound worked, man.
Yeah. It was amazing.
I hope it didn't bug.
Yeah, I hope nothing bugged.
Yeah, I think it was a very smooth conversation.
Yeah, very smooth.